I'm normally on Hal's side, being he's one of my favorite characters ever, but Iceman bullies him badly. Respectfully, my friend, I disagree, and I'll tell you why. This comment, of course, came from the Hal Jordan versus Iceman video that Gravity Titan did that I duetted. And just like I presented in the Superman video, not only does Hal Jordan have the ability to resist what Iceman can do, but he has more than enough win conditions to take him out. So let's just get into it, shall we? Now, I'm not going to go into every single defense that Hal Jordan has against Iceman. We know, being the greatest Green Lantern of them all, that he has consistency for not only resisting elemental attacks or resisting extreme temperatures, but also his durability is high enough that he could take the majority of the hits that Iceman could deliver to him. No, rather, I'm going to talk about his time freeze, because that seems to be everyone's go-to when it comes down to Iceman. Which is funny, because Iceman doesn't use it that often, and when he's used it, it's usually as a last resort. It's not an opening gambit move. That, and I think Hal is just on paper faster than Iceman, so he can pull off his win conditions before Iceman. But let's just give some defenses against that time freeze. Like in Green Lantern issue 123, in which we see that Hal Jordan is able to move in a place where there is no time. He crosses a timeless distance barrier in an instant. Or Green Lantern issue 116, in which Hal Jordan is able to move through an area where there is no time and no space. Or in Time Masters, Vanishing Point, issue 5 of 6, where while in this time vortex, Hal Jordan is protected by the chronal energies that are affecting other people. This allows them to be unaffected by the time vortex and save everyone else. Like I said, I think Hal's fast enough to get his win cons on Iceman before he pulls off the time stop, and the time stop isn't even a in-character opening gambit for Iceman. But even if he does pull it off, Hal has shown that he's been able to deal with time manipulation or areas where time is frozen or doesn't exist. But let's talk about those win conditions. Let's start with the most common one that was brought up in my Superman video. As was stated in Astonishing Iceman issue 1, that when Nimrod attacked Iceman, he delivered him an attack that was so consuming and so painful that Iceman wasn't able to focus and reform himself. And it was actually his connection with Romeo that allowed him to come back. And we see this again in Iceman's most recent appearance, which was Astonishing Iceman issue 5, that this overwhelming supernova attack, which completely devastated Iceman, he has yet to completely reform from. And can Hal Jordan do that kind of attack? Of course he can. Green Lantern issue number 13. While fighting Cyborg Superman, Hal Jordan throws an afterburner at Cyborg Superman as hot as the sun. And if that's not enough for you, don't forget about Hal Jordan the Green Lantern Corps issue number 7, in which Hal Jordan was able to overload his body with willpower and absolutely destroy and decimate and destroy Warworld. Now, to be fair, Hal Jordan destroying Warworld, an amazing feat, but he did have to recover after that one. He was turned into pure will. However, the feat where he released that afterburner that was as hot as the sun, that is definitely as powerful, if not more powerful, than the napalm attack that was used by Nimrod. So we know how Jordan has the ability to completely decimate his body to the point that reforming just wouldn't be that easy, or wouldn't be able to at all. But let's look at another win condition. Avengers vs. X-Men, issue 6 of 6, in which, while fighting Iron Fist, Iceman's body is destroyed so many times that there is no moisture left in the air for his body to reform. So Hal just simply has to continuously destroy his body enough times where there's no moisture left. Hell, he probably doesn't even have to destroy his body. We know from Superman Action Comics, issue 992, that Hal Jordan is able to casually open wormholes from the distance of Earth to Oa, which allowed Superman to travel between the two in an instant. So, Hal has a couple options when it comes down to this win con. He can do what Iron Fist did and just destroy Iceman's body so many times he doesn't have enough moisture to regenerate. Or number 2, he can open a wormhole, take Iceman, throw him through the wormhole, and put him on some desolate desert planet where there is no moisture. There's many options when it comes down to this win con. But my favorite win con actually comes from Iceman, Marvel Voices, issue 1. Yeah, this is the series where we get the infamous time stop that everyone loves to use. But I think people tend to forget that in this series, Bobby, well in his Iceman form, is hit with a bunch of debris and is completely knocked out. To the point that while he was knocked out and blacked out, he was defrosting, defeated by falling debris. If all it takes is falling debris to knock out Iceman, Hal Jordan has more than enough AP to knock him out. So, with his defenses against time manipulation, Hal Jordan can absolutely decimate Iceman's body to the point in which he won't be able to reform due to the pain and confusion and suddenness of the attack. Or he can just break up his body enough that he wouldn't be able to reform because there's not enough moisture. Or battlefield removal him into a place where there is no moisture. Or lastly, you could just hit him with some falling debris. Pick your poison. I love Iceman. He is literally a force of nature. There is zero denying that. I love the attention that the character's been getting. But let's be honest with ourselves when it comes down to this character. He's not beating Hal Jordan. It's that simple. Have a good day.